This morning, some of the trades we had were very, very short, and so people were saying, why didn't you leave profit on the table?" Usually, when I take a position, I'm going to do this really fast because I don't have much time. We're about to go to lunch, right? But here, take this out. Check this out. Right here, we had right in this area, we had a. Let me just let's see. Can I draw a shape around here? Right in here. Okay, I had a short position today, and normally, what people who are in the Skype room with me and whatever know, I'm usually looking for pushes away from this 24-hour VWAP, right? So I took the short position, would have normally moved my stop up to break even as soon as it went in my favor or take some profit, and I would just kind of wait for this thing to really push down, and probably would have went to push down to, I even would have went to maybe 620 or something like that. Okay, I didn't do that though. As soon as it came down and it broke through about 705, like right here, I took the whole position off. I just took profit, and I did the same thing also over here. Another trade here where this thing went down, and normally I'd move my stop to break even when it went in my favor, and I would and I would try to keep getting a push away from that 24-hour VWAP. But I didn't do it. As soon as it came down and tested the 770.48 area, it broke through it, pushed through it by about 10 points, and then I took profit again, the entire position. So the reason I did this was because I noticed that there was symmetry in the day earlier in the day rather. And when I realized that there's symmetry, I know from my log sheets, from my notes, which I encourage everyone to do, keep notes and so forth, that the market was symmetrical, and that if I waited for longer term positions, it would probably just come back and hit my break-even stop. And in my experience, working all morning for 5 or 6 break-evens isn't worth it. I'd rather just take 10, 15, 20-point moves, take the cash off the table, put it in my pocket, and go. And just get out of there and not leave myself exposed. Because every time you open a new position, you're basically letting your guard down and giving the market the opportunity to knock you out. And this is a game of being able to hang in there, be consistent, and just stay with it. If you get knocked out, if you blow out your account, you're not going to be able to do this anymore. So limited exposure to the market. So the question becomes, how did I know it was symmetrical? Well, mostly it was the fact that this VWAP, this 24-hour VWAP the whole day, let's look at it now, it's at 77.50 right here, right? Its relationship to the point of control, both the volume and the price point of control on my developing distribution, 77.58. They're just so close to each other, and when you get the VWAP and these point of controls so close to each other, and not only that, but you get both point of controls smushing together, almost it's revolving around each other. You also have a sign of symmetry. Also, besides that, let's zoom in. Let me zoom out rather, so you can see how this value area. You see the area between the green area here. It's a very tight range. Normally, your distribution would want to try to extend that value area to the higher side or to the low side, and try to test the previous day's value, right? So, in other words, what I mean is it would want to come up outside of this value area, test the value area of yesterday. Today, even in the first hour of trading, it just didn't do that. It came up, came down, and just rotating on itself. When it's rotating like that, that's the sign. Okay, that when I see that, what I used to do is just leave the position and I would hope for it to go. And looking back at my notes, I just realized after a while that this wasn't working, and I had to adapt to what the market presented. And when the market presents itself like this, you just want to. I just take the money and get out of there. Does it mean the market's going to continue to rotate around itself like this all day? No, it doesn't mean that, and it probably won't. But until it shows signs of actually following through on a position, like in other words, it has to. For me, seriously, it has to push away from this VWAP with a series of swing highs and swing lows, or to the upside or to the downside that have follow through, that have momentum. If they start like this, you can see here it's trying to push higher. You know what? This isn't a very thrilling push here. It's not really. It is expanding its range out of this last, hour and a half, but it's not very convincing. The volume is low, and so what I really want to see is let's see this thing pull back and move to the upside with a decent push. Then I'll maybe take this seriously. But for now, it's just rotating around itself. So the positions that I do get into, although I'm going to go take a break right now, but the positions that I would be in if I was trading at this moment, as soon as it went in my favor, I would, and the risk reward, and it went in enough in my favor that the risk reward was proper, I would take the profit off the table. Okay, that's what I did this morning, and it afforded me to be able to walk away into the lunchtime, area with some change in my pocket. So, just an idea.